Peace, family, peace, 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 peace. All right, I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. If not, do understand and get is going to get better once your perception gets better. So today's video is pretty much about attachment. And what is attachment? The other day, I was listening to Dr. Wayne Dyer, who talked a lot about attachment. He would often talk about forgiveness. To me, Dr. Wayne Dyer was an inspirational speaker slash teacher. And so when I heard Dr. Wayne Dyer talk about attachment, one of the things he said was he would refer back to this spiritual teacher. And the spiritual teacher would say that we should not be attached to anything, and when we are attached to people, we are looking for them to act or behave in a certain type of way because we feel that we are getting our happiness from them. I have a good friend that whenever she would get into relationships, right, in the beginning of a relationship, it always is good, right? It's like the honeymoon stage, and oftentimes what I will often hear her say, and this would not be just one relationship, it would be several relationships that she would. And at first, maybe the guys are taking her out, they giving the illusion, or she falling for the illusion that they are making her happy. But it's really not that. What it is two people have came together and they are looking for one another to make them happy, right? Because in life, we don't get what we say we want. We don't get who we pretend to be. We get exactly who we are, okay? Who we showing up as. And so every relationship is pretty much the same as that concept, right? And when she would talk to me, I would pretty much tell her the reason why you keep on going through this, because when you get into these relationships with these guys, pretty much she drops everything, because her whole outlook is, if I stay clingy to the person, or if I look for this person, if I be with this person 24/7, this person is going to give me the love and affection and attention that I didn't receive when I was a child. Oftentimes, that's what it really comes down to, is our upbringing, right? We are sometimes attached to things and people because we felt like we didn't get the attention, the affection, or the love that we ought to have received. And honey, I'm here to tell you, your parents, they could not have given you anything, okay, that they did not have within them. They could not give you, if you say you wanted 100 oranges and all they had was apples, you have to start accepting the fact that that's all they had. Okay, they could not give you all the love and affection that you wanted because, one, they was attached to the person who they've been for so long, okay, that they really believe that's who they are. Okay, that's one. And two, we cannot do something that we don't know how to do. All right. So, I had to look at that and start understanding that my parents did the best that they knew how to do. And as long as I keep, if you keep on saying, well, my mama should have did this, my mama should have did that, that's what you tend to have in your subconscious mind. And you are going to start attracting people that are just like your mama or just like your daddy, whether they was unavailable. And let me tell you something. Just because someone is, you living with them, that does not mean that they're not unavailable. Okay. So what I seen in my life was I was attached to materialized things. Okay. And oftentimes, sometimes attached to people as well. So I seen, for a great deal of my life, I would be attached to shopping, right? And oftentimes I would have said before that I was an impulsive shopper, right? And that was because whatever it was that I was dealing with, I didn't want to feel it. I didn't want to face those emotions. I didn't want to accept what it was that was showing up in my life. And so oftentimes I would go to stores, okay, and take the money that I had, probably that was for a bill, and I would take that money and use that money for clothes, because clothes, shoes, perfume, anything, any materialized thing that I could have purchased, I would use that money, because I felt like if I brought this new outfit, if I brought these new shoes, if I brought this new makeup, that I would receive love, or I would receive attention, or people would like me more. If I had a new outfit on, people would like me, or they would accept me more, or they would want to be a part of my life. Or mainly it would be sometimes guys, right? Until I start realizing, honey, we think as women, right? Like, we like, oh, well, I'm gonna get these shoes because I got that date. Oftentimes the guy's not really caught up into like what shoes you're wearing and all these different things. Is more so we be trying to impress other women, right? Is because that's really is because guys not really caught up into the whole fashion aspect. I mean, some may, but for the majority of them, they're not. And so that's what I would be attached to. And the attachment was so bad that my lights would be cut off. My phone would be cut off. The stuff that I needed to pay, it would be cut off, because I didn't value, honey, me having lights, although I had children. I didn't value, I was more concerned about somebody else's opinion of me. I was attached to someone else's perception of me as opposed of my own. Okay. So that was another thing. Another example I'm gonna give you guys is when I first started doing Uber back in 2018. Okay. Now, I had started doing Uber, and I started doing inspirational videos on Facebook. And when I started doing the videos, I would get, people would say, oh, the video's good, whatever it was. I was still looking for somebody to compliment me, right? And they say we should be like the pendulum, right? Is we shouldn't have no attachment to, compliments, whether somebody say they like us or if somebody say they don't like us. We should just be neutral, right? And so in 2018, I felt like I was doing the videos, and oftentimes when I would come home, the house wouldn't be cleaned, right? Like, I mean, it would be little stuff, nothing major. And I would come home, like when I would be walking up the stairs, my children, they would be running. Like my oldest children, they would run because they would hear me, and they knew that I was going to complain at that time. They knew that I just was going to be really, really grumpy, because my perception at that time was I should be further along than what I was with making the videos, with the money that was in my account. Like, I just felt like I should be further along. And when you are looking at your life and you are paying attention to the illusion of lack or scarcity, those things are going to continuously show up, because those are the things that you are paying attention to, right? And that's what you're giving your energy to. I'm going to be happy once I get into that relationship. You never going to get into the relationship that you truly desire, because that's what you putting out. Yeah, that's your energy, your vibration, your frequency. You got the clingy, needy energy, and people could feel it. People could feel it, and when they feel it, they don't want no parts of it. For example, when I was in this one relationship, I remember this guy that I was in a relationship with, and I liked him more than he liked me. And I would keep calling him. And I would make excuses like as of why I was calling him, because I didn't want to seem needy or clingy. But he was reflecting back to me how I was showing up. See, people just are reflectors of us. They reflecting back to you exactly how you showing up. Okay. So when I would call him several times throughout the day and keep blowing his phone up, he would reflect to me like, Dad, you clingy, damn, you needy, right? And I would keep on doing it. Just like this friend of mine, right? She would keep getting into relationships. And no matter how many times I would tell her, like, listen, those relationships, they are all the same. Because what we have to understand is we don't get different unless we become different. Okay? If you are attached to looking for someone to make you happy, complete, whole, you are going to continuously get someone that is going to reflect back to you that you're not complete, you're not whole, you're needy, you're clingy. And so what I started doing was I started investing in myself, okay? Because I felt like if I could know me better, then I could know others better, right? And my first investment, I had paid for Bob Proctor's course, okay? And I started becoming aware of some of the things that I was doing. I became aware of how I was showing up. Even while I was in Bob Proctor's course, I still was doing some shit, okay? I still would be attached to the outcome, not being in the here and the now moment. Honey, sometimes I'm still not in the here and the now moment, okay? But I'm more so in the here and the now moment more now than what I have been in the past, okay? You have to surrender the control. That's really what it is, right? You attach to certain things because you want to control it. You want to control it. Oftentimes, when, especially like in relationships, you see it. When people are attached to the other person, they want to control the other person. And what they are saying is, if you don't act this way, then you make me unhappy, right? Even with my children, right? That I notice when my children do certain things, like my oldest children, even my youngest children, when they don't act the way I want them to act, it makes me upset, right? Because sometimes we feel like we are going to get our happiness from that person, right? If our children don't behave in the way we want them to behave, like the way we've been programmed to raise our children, then we start feeling like, well, I get my happiness from you, and because you did this thing, you don't make me happy any longer, right? So it's really programming, is really the attachment. And what you have to understand is no one could make you happy. And so what did I start doing? Especially like with my oldest children, I start letting them do pretty much what it is that they want to do. Right? Now, my oldest children, I have a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old. Because what I started realizing was, I could guide them. I could talk to them about, things that I've been through. I could get them advice. But at the end of the day, they still are going to make their own choices and decisions. Right? And I can't, feel like, well, if they go the opposite way, then it's going to make me happy or it's going to make me sad. No, that's right. That's their life. Okay? What they do, they get whatever in return based upon what they have put out. So what you have to understand is you have to let go. The reason why you may not let go is the story that you keep on telling yourself. Okay? Say, for instance, your father wasn't around when you was a child. Okay? And your father would lie a lot. Like, he would say at times he's coming to pick you up, and, maybe it was a few occasions where as though you would be dressed up, excited, for your father to pick you up. And then you notice your father never came. Okay? And this was like more than one time. This was like an ongoing thing. And as you grew up, right, and became, whether it was a teenager or an adult, you start attracting people that's just like your father. Whether they, they say they coming and they don't come. Whether, they say that they gonna improve, they gonna be different, and you keep seeing they continuously be the same exact person that they were, okay? Because a lot of times people or we are unaware of some of the things that we tend to do. Why? Because it's embedded into the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is habits, right? Is the habitual habits that we tend to do on a day in and day out. You become an adult and you keep on telling that story, right? So whomever is listening, you keep telling that story. You have this picture of yourself when you was a child. Oh, I had, pink socks on with the ruffles. I had the white shoes on and a pink and white dress with the white jacket on. And my father, he said he was coming that time and he never came. So you have, although you may not be, saying it you may be telling people that story, but you also have it in the subconscious mind, all the way back in the subconscious mind. And so you live in that story out because why? You expect for the person not to show up. You expect for, the people not to be the way you want the people to be. You expect it. And sometimes you may even say, you just like this person. You just like my father. Right? You may say that. Why? Because that person is demonstrating to you what you have going on subconsciously. We are all reflectors of one another. If you want to see, this is one of the things that I started realizing. If I really want to see how I'm healing and how I'm doing the work on myself and, things of that nature, get into a relationship. Right? Get into a and what I have seen also, look, before I used to feel once I get into the relationship that I would be happy, right? And what I seen was instead of me dismissing the red flags that I may see from men, I started paying attention to the red flags. And let me tell you something. If you are attached to someone making you happy or loving you a certain way, honey, you're not going to pay attention to the red flags. And the red flags, they always show up in the beginning. It was funny because I had a friend of mine who actually told me, no, this guy, he wasn't like this in the beginning. People show you exactly who they are in the beginning because it's so habitual. They've been doing it so long that they feel like that is a part of them. And I necessarily feel like it's a part of them because sometimes they don't even recognize or they're not even aware of what they're doing. But I told a friend, I said, no, I guarantee you this person was like that in the beginning, right? Because people show us exactly who they are. But if you are so needy to being attached and getting love and getting affection and getting, somebody making you happy, you're not going to pay attention to the red flags. You're going to be oblivious to the red flags. Why? Because you have this whole concept that once I get in a relationship with this person, right, this person is going to make me happy. So in order for you to start letting go, you have to start becoming aware. You have to start feeling those emotions, those feelings, and everything that you tend to be going through. You have to start feeling it. And it's okay to feel those emotions because once you feel those emotions, you are able to let go of it. We have to understand and remember, emotions are energy in motion. So remember how I said everything is based upon your energy, vibration, frequency. So when you feel those emotions, and you deal with those emotions, then those emotions, you could let go of those emotions. Let go of that type of energy, that neediness, that clinginess. Another person that I love listening to is Aaron Dowdy, who is another YouTuber. And one of the things, Aaron Dowdy, he talks a lot about this, about letting go. And he gives examples of the nice guy persona. Right. And he talks about how his father pretty much was, is a nice guy. And really what it is a form of manipulation. Right. oftentimes people feel like, oh, well, if I be nice, then people gonna be nice to me. They gonna treat me good. They gonna treat me a certain type of way. But oftentimes you being nice or acting nice and it's really a persona. It's not even a real you. Like my youngest son, he do this at times. The other day we was on the light rail, right, a train. But when we got off the light rail, my youngest son wanted to get on the elevator so he could ride down instead of walking down the stairs with my youngest daughter and I. So as my youngest son was on the elevator, right, and my youngest daughter and I, we already got downstairs. And I see this guy with this book bag, like just keep on hitting, my youngest son. But not intentionally, but just doing it, I guess, because he wanted room or the book bag was too big or whatever. So when we got off, in fact, I was upset because I was like, damn, he don't see that damn book bag. Like, he don't see somebody is behind him. But I told my youngest son, I said, listen, when someone is like hitting you with their stuff, like with their bag or something, like just get them a nudge to let them know that you are behind them. And my youngest son said, no, it's okay. That's all right. I'm just going to let him do it. And he was serious. He wasn't joking. He was serious. And it shows up like even sometimes like with school, right? With my youngest son. Because he have this nice person persona, like this nice person, like, if I be nice, they gonna like me. If I be nice, they gonna be my friend and, all these different things. And I'm telling him, that's not always the case. Be yourself. Because when you yourself, you could attract the people that you really would want to be friends with, right? When we act nice or, we be this nice person, oftentimes it's because we want to be liked, okay? We want to be like, we feel like the person outside of us, which is really no outside, but the illusion, we feel like this person is going to like us, this person going to bring us joy, happiness, and all of those things are illusions. Just like Dr. Wayne Dyer said, if you are being attached to people or things, you will not be happy. Because soon as those things, you don't receive those things, or as soon as that person don't act the way you want them to act, you're going to be sad. Because you feel that you're not whole and complete when you already are whole and complete. You have to just get rid of those belief systems that's going on in your subconscious mind that's making you, or that you are choosing to be. Another example of attachment is this. Okay. A few days ago, so a lot of you guys who been watching me, whether it was Facebook and you now on my YouTube channel, I appreciate you guys. The ones that's been rocking out to me, I appreciate you guys. Even the ones that's new today, I appreciate you. But one of the things that I had started noticing, me being attached to this outcome, right? Far as me having a certain subscriber account, me becoming monetized on YouTube, this is also what I noticed. I have heard other content creators say that, in the beginning, they would do like, sometimes they would even do like 3 videos, in a day, right? For YouTube. And, they did that for a month. I know one of the people was Erin Dowdy. Another person was Peach McIntyre. She said sometimes she would do 3 videos in a day. And what I noticed was, so the other day, right, I believe I had did 2 videos, and prior to that, so I've been doing videos every day, uploading, doing videos, shopping videos, vlogging, doing inspirational videos, whatever. And the other day I was so tired. I was like so exhausted, right? And my youngest son, he was coming from school. That was the day when the guy was hitting him with the book bag. And I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? We gonna go 2 different places. We gonna go to Five Below. We gonna go to Target. We gonna go like all these different places. And in that moment, right, I was not paying attention to like how I was feeling. Like I just was like, you know what, we gonna do this because, you know, the more videos I put out, the more subscribers I get, the more content I'm putting out, all these different things, right? The whole aspect is the more I do this, when I reach to that place, I'm gonna be happy. You know, when I get all that money, I'm gonna be happy. And happiness is really a choice. So let me tell you guys what I did. So we on a light rail, okay, the train. We on the train, and we were supposed to walk because where the stop is, like to get to Target, is not too far from the station, the train station where we get off at. So I kept having this feeling within myself that was like, the universe is not going to, like, you do not have to be exhausted in order for you to get to where you trying to be, right? And in that moment, after we got off the light rail, I turned around and I told my children, I said, we going back home. Now they didn't, my youngest daughter, she wanted to go, but my youngest son, he didn't want to go back home. But I said, I have to do what works for me, right? And so luckily the train that, you know, will bring us back home, it was like pulling up. And I said, this is sure a sign for me to get on this train. I got on the train. And then what I realized was oftentimes the reason why we are attached, because sometimes you don't like where you currently are. You feel as though that once you get somewhere, that is going to be better. And the whole concept is understanding where you are in the here and the now is better. Okay? Understand it. And so that day I uploaded, I think it was 1 video, I believe, because the whole concept was for me to do 3 videos. But I think I uploaded 1 video, if I'm not mistaken. And that's what I mean when I say you feel those emotions. When you become aware, when that voice is saying, honey, you are tired. Or when you feel tired, don't burn yourself out because you feel that, you know, once I get there, I'm going to be so much better. No, honey, you got to do what works for you. And you got to understand that by you taking that break, it's going to speed up the process. And you know why? Because you're not attached to the outcome and you sort of surrendering. You surrendering to source. You letting things just happen the way they supposed to happen. You're not trying to control every aspect. And when you try to control every aspect, guess what happens? It slows the process down. Because what you're saying is, if I don't do this, my life isn't good. If I'm not paying attention to lack, which is I gotta make more videos. I gotta make more videos because I don't like the way my life is, right? And when you operating like that, it's going to slow the process down. But when you just surrender, like that day, I just was like, you know what, I'm tired. I'm going back home, right? That's allowing the universe to do what the universe needs to do. That's me surrendering, not being in control. The reason why you are attached to people and things because you want to be in control. But you have to see, honey, your way ain't working. Okay? Your way ain't working. And so you surrender. When you see it, and awareness is not bad. Even when you act a certain way, it's not bad. Because that just shows that you have more work to do on yourself. And that makes you start understanding, oh, I gotta learn. I gotta, we supposed to always be learning. And so I hope you guys got something from that. And with that being said, peace.